children of the one Yahweh. Ye are the chosen of the one Yahweh. And he has given his laws to us. Everything belongs to him.
The way you get that is by wisdom, right? What's going on, brother? You got a question?
No.
You see yourself on this sign right here?
Just listening.
You're just listening? Okay, well, let me ask you just one question. Have you ever heard of the Israelites before?
Yeah.
So what do you know about the Israelites?
God's chosen.
God's chosen people, right? Who are those people today?
In the Bible.
They're in the Bible. I'm saying, like, what people on the earth can we identify as the Israelites?
We are.
We are. See, this brother knows.
That's right.
That brother knows what it is. So what does that mean? Now when we're the Israelites, what do we have to do?
What do you mean, what do we have to do?
Like, we have a mission, right? God, he has his chosen people. And he told his chosen people to do certain things. You know what I'm talking about? Let me show you something. Give me that Deuteronomy 10 and 12.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 10, verse 12. And now Israel.
And now Israel, right? You said we are Israel. We're God's chosen people. So this is for you. Go ahead.
What do the Lord thy God require of thee?
What does God require of us? What does God want us to do? Keep going.
But to fear the Lord thy God, to walk in all his ways, and to love him, and to serve the Lord thy God.
So we got to fear the Most High, love the Most High, walk in all his ways. Go ahead.
With all thy heart, and with all thy soul. To keep the commandments of the Lord.
To do what?
To keep the commandments of the Lord.
So we got to keep the commandments of God, brother. So what I had to do is to tell our people, these 12 tribes of the nation of Israel, so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Americans, but we're falsely so-called that. Like you said, brother, we're really supposed to be called the Israelites according to the Bible. That's our true identity. So what our mission and our objective is to teach our people who they are and to get them to repent and believe that Most High God and His Son and keep the law, statutes, and commandments. All right, brother, you got any questions? All right, so you're an Israelite from one of the various 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. You got to keep the laws of the Most High and faith in His Son, whose real name, brother, is not Jesus Christ. His real name is Yahushua. Remember that name, Yahushua. All right. So remember that name. Any of the brothers got any other questions? You heard back from them Christians yet?
Oh, you know that's brother-in-law.
Okay. Right. Go ahead.
This is the book of Ecclesiastes. It's the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 10 and verse 6. Folly is set in great dignity.
Read Job 10 and 22. Folly is set in great dignity in this society. Go ahead.
Folly is set in great dignity, and the rich sit in low place.
The rich sit in a low place. Give me James 2 and 5. The rich, spiritually rich, right? Not with the FRN, the Federal Reserve note, that's got your damn picture of a slave master on it. Now, is that saying just go out, be broke, don't have a job? That's not what that's saying. But when it's talking about, it says those that are rich, it's talking about not monetarily, but spiritually rich. Because get James 2 and 5.
This is the book of James, chapter 2 and verse 5. Hearken, my beloved brethren, hath not God chosen the poor of this world?
The poor of this world, poor in what? Because our people as a total are poor. We're the first five, the last hire. We don't have much money. Right? You think, a Negro think he get a record deal and have $1 million, think he got a lot of money. That is a lot of money. But how about who owns the record company? He's got a lot of money. You think that NBA contract's a lot of money? It is a pretty healthy amount of money. What about the people who own those teams? Huh? Keep going.
For God hath chosen the poor of this world, rich in faith.
Rich in what?
Rich in faith.
Rich in faith. Go ahead.
And heirs of the kingdom.
Those are the heirs of the kingdom. Those that are rich in faith. Keep going.
Which he hath promised to them that love him.
Which he hath promised to those that love him. So who loves God? Those who keep the commandments of the Most High God. Give me Wisdom of Solomon 6th chapter. Bring that out.
This is the book of Job, chapter 10, verse 22. A land of darkness.
That's what America is. That's why our people are so bucked the hell out, because we're in a land of darkness. Go ahead.
As darkness itself. And of the shadow of death.
Everybody knows Psalm 23. Lord, walk through the valley of the shadow of death. Well, guess what? If you're on this sign right here, if you're an Israelite, you walk through the valley of the shadow of death every single day. That's right. Every second of your life is you walking through the valley of the shadow of death. You don't know that pursuant to the curse of Deuteronomy 28 chapter, it says you might not even be able to know if you're going to be able to go home that day. You may walk down the street, a cop wanted some PTO, some paid time off, he go blast your damn brains in. That's the shadow of death. That's what our people have to go through on a day-to-day basis. Go ahead.
Without any order, and where the light is as darkness.
And where the light is as darkness. That's not this place. The light is as darkness. Hold that gate, John 3 and 19. Go ahead. Love is keeping over law. That's what Psalm 6. Go ahead. It's like 18.
Yeah. This is the book of the Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 6 and verse 18. And love is the keeping of her laws.
This is how you love the Most High God. All our people all day and night want to claim how they love God so much, but they don't do the things that God says you need to do to profess your love towards Him. Read that again.
This is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 6 and verse 17. For the verse 18, and love is the keeping of her laws.
Love is the keeping of her laws. Love is the keeping of her. It's talking about wisdom. Love is the keeping of wisdom's law. Because when you read Deuteronomy, the 4th chapter, it tells you that the law is our wisdom. Go ahead.
And the giving heed unto her laws is the assurance of incorruption.
Yeah, that's how you can assure yourself that you are not going to inherit incorruption, but that you'll inherit eternal life by doing the law, statutes, and commandments and the faith in who you in the call of Jesus Christ. But here's the problem. Get John 3 and 19.
This is the book of John, chapter 3, verse 19. And this is the condemnation.
And this is the condemnation. This is the condemnation. Go ahead.
That light is coming to the world.
Light is come into the world, because John 10 said that the world is full of darkness. But there was light that came into the world. Go ahead.
And men love darkness rather than light.
And what?
Men love darkness rather than light.
But men love darkness rather than light. That's the problem with our people. We love darkness. We love wickedness. We extol wickedness and folly instead of wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. We seek the wrong thing instead of the right thing. Go ahead.
Because their deeds were evil.
Because their deeds were evil. That's why they hate righteousness and they love wickedness, because they themselves are evil. So if you yourself are evil, how are you going to love righteousness? Because if you loving righteousness and hating wickedness, if you're wicked, that means you're going to hate yourself. And that's a problem with our people. We need to love the Most High God and His laws, statutes, and commandments, and stop being a damn hypocrite. Give me Psalm 119 and 60. Okay, Psalm 119 and 60.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 119 and verse 60. It says, I made haste and delayed not to keep thy commandments.
That's the problem with our people, though. The scripture saying Sirach, give me Sirach, the 4th chapter. Okay, talking about, or it's just Sirach 4 or 5, where it talks about make no tearing to turn from the Lord, turn to the Lord. That's the problem with our people, especially brothers and sisters that are just now coming to the truth. They're always, okay, everybody learns at their own pace. That's true. But our people will just put off the day of the Lord, as if the Most High is just giving you all the time in the world. The scriptures say the time draweth nigh. You have no time left. You better get right immediately, because you have no idea when the Most High God could visit you for your iniquity. You're just, okay, let me just smoke this last blunt. The Most High could have you smoke that blunt, and the Most High could then smoke you. Okay, that's why we need to have the fear of the Most High God instilled into us. So bring on what you got. I told you to get something. Sirach, the 4th chapter. Ain't no tearing. Sirach 5. Get the make no tearing, turn from the Lord. I got something. All right, give me the book of John, the 8th chapter. Yeah, get John, the 8th chapter. Yeah, get Sirach 5 and 7.
I got it. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 5, verse 7. Make no tarrying to turn to the Lord.
That's what our people need to do. It's to stop making tarrying to turn from the Lord. Get right with Him now. Go ahead.
And put not off from day to day.
And put off not from day to day. Why? Go ahead.
For suddenly shall the wrath of the Lord come forth.
For suddenly shall the wrath of the Lord come forth. You never know when the Most High God can visit you with His destruction. You have no idea. Go ahead.
And in thy security thou shalt be destroyed.
And in thy security thou shalt be destroyed. When you think everything's just going fine and dandy, then you're going to be destroyed. I should say that the Lord cometh as a thief in the night. Hold you guys. Get 2 Thessalonians, the 2nd chapter. Get 2 Thessalonians, 2nd chapter.
Excuse me, I got a quick question.
What's up, brother? Go ahead.
Is Genesis 20:12 saying that Abraham and Sarah are his brother and sister?
Go ahead.
Is that what that's saying?
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 20, verse 12. And yet, indeed, she is my sister.
Start at the point. Get verse 9. This is what we got to get. I'm gonna show you something. Get verse 9.
You have to go further than that. You're going to read the story.
No, I know. Starting at verse 9. We're just getting the point.
All right. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 20, verse 9.
Do you remember when Isaac went into Egypt? And what did he do? You remember?
Bring me up.
He lied to the Egyptians and he said, tell them that this is my wife,
Right.
or else they're going to kill me.
Right.
Now,
Same
remember,
thing he did.
Abraham did that twice. He did that with Abimelech, and he did that with Pharaoh. So he said, lie to them. verse. You gotta start verse 1. Yeah, you gotta get the story.
All right, this is the book of Genesis, chapter 20, verse 1. And Abraham journeyed from this towards the south country.
This is after Sodom and Gomorrah got destroyed. Go ahead.
And dwelt between Kadesh and Shur, and sojourned in Gerar. And Abraham said unto Sarah, his wife,
Hit Genesis 12.
she is my sister. And Abimelech, king of Gerar, sent and took Sarah. But God came to Abimelech in the dream by night.
So Abraham said, just say you're my sister.
Right.
He also does this right here. Get Genesis 12. Get it in the Bible. It doesn't matter. Fine. Get Genesis chapter 12, verse 1. Genesis 12 and start at verse 10.
There's the book of Genesis, chapter 12 and verse 10. And there was a famine in the land, and Abram went down into Egypt to sojourn.
So there was a famine in the land where Abraham was at. So he went into Egypt. Go ahead.
For the famine was grievous in the land. And it came to pass, when he was come near to enter into Egypt, then he said unto Sarah his wife, behold, now I know that thou art a fair woman to look upon.
So he's saying, look, you're a beautiful woman and everyone's going to want you. Go ahead.
Therefore it shall come to pass, when the Egyptians shall see thee, that they shall say, this is his wife, and they will kill me.
You see that? So he's saying, look, we're going to go into Egypt because there's a famine.
And this is the one when they found out who she was. He was like, hey man, why you almost had me sleep with your wife?
Right, and it's
this one.
the same thing.
Oh,
the same thing's about to happen.
Okay.
In Genesis 20, we're going to get that. Right. So I'm just showing you Abraham's done it before. Isaac did it as
Just
well.
using a little gouge to get through.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly what he's doing. So he's saying, look, you're a beautiful sister. They're going to want to kill me so they can have you.
Right.
Right? Keep going.
But they will save you alive.
You see that? Because they're going to lay with her. Quote that. That's fine. That's it on that. Go back to Genesis 20.
Shalom. This is the book of Genesis.
Start at verse 3.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 20, verse 3.
So now when he goes into where Abimelech's dwelling in Gerar, right, it says that they took Sarah. Go ahead.
It's the same story from the 12.
No, it's not the same story.
The whole other account.
It's a whole other account, but it's something similar. Same premise. Go ahead.
But God came to Abimelech in a dream by night, and said to him, behold, thou art but a dead man.
Yeah, so Abimelech took Sarah from Abraham. So then, mind you, he didn't sleep with her yet, though. He didn't sleep with her yet. But then the Most High says to Abimelech, look, you're a dead man. Go ahead.
For the woman which thou hast taken, for she is a man's wife.
She's a man's wife. So now God's coming to the night vision of Abimelech. Go ahead.
But Abimelech had not come near her.
Abimelech ain't had sex with her yet. Go ahead.
And he said, Lord, wilt thou slay also a righteous nation?
He's basically saying, look, I didn't even do nothing with her. I didn't know. You gonna kill me for something I didn't know? Go ahead.
Said he not unto me, she is my sister?
See that? He used God, like you said. So he's not saying it's his actual sister. He's just saying, go tell people that I said you don't kill.
Well, I knew that part, but then when I got to 12, he started saying she's the mother of my. He said she's the daughter of my father, not my mother.
Start at verse
That's the only
9.
thing that got me.
Okay.
The book of Genesis, chapter 20, verse 9. Then Abimelech called Abraham and said unto him, What hast thou done unto us? And what have I offended thee?
This is Abimelech talking to Abraham. So what did I do to you? It's kind of the same thing with the Egyptians, right? When they found out that this is his wife. They're like, why'd you do this to us? Go ahead.
That thou hast brought on me and on my kingdom a great sin. Thou hast done deeds unto me that I ought not to be done.
Basically saying, you shouldn't have done that. I didn't do nothing to deserve this. Keep going.
And Abimelech said unto Abraham, What sawest thou that thou hast done this thing?
So now Abimelech's asking Abraham, why did you do this? Go ahead.
And Abraham said, Because I thought, surely the fear of God is not in this place.
He lied to him because why? Because he didn't think that they feared him all the time. Exactly.
Abraham wanted to live.
Exactly. That's the whole story.
So he said basically, I think that if y'all knew this was my wife, you would kill me for her. Exactly. So that's why he said. So yeah, when people isolate that, like it's really a sister. Now it was a lie, but then they go, "Well, you ain't supposed to lie," not realizing.
You want to live?
It's kind of like, but also not realizing the commandments say you just can't lie to Israel, right? So it's not. These are heathens. He can lie to them in the sea, right?
Kind of like Paul and Agrippa, right?
Exactly.
Same concept.
You can be deceptive to your enemy.
and they will slay me for my wife's sake. And yet indeed she is my sister. She is the daughter of my father, but not the daughter of my mother. And she became my wife.
Right, so like a half sister, because before that there was no law. You gotta understand that the laws of Moses, this is the same law, similar law that Abraham and Noah and Adam had.
Right.
But there wasn't the exact same. There wasn't the exact same. For example, there wasn't a Passover yet during the time of Abraham. So Abraham couldn't have kept the Passover, which is part of the Mosaic law.
Right.
But he had an earlier form of the Mosaic law. So the scriptures that talk about don't approach unto your near kin that weren't in effect yet. So when he had his half sister, that was before the law was codified. You know what I'm saying? So you got a question, brother?
I was just asking about this.
What was the question? Why are we choosing? Good question. Get Genesis 49 chapter. Get Deuteronomy 33rd chapter.
It's the book of Genesis, chapter 49, verse 9. Verse 9. Judah is a lion's whelp.
Judah is a lion's whelp. So now we're talking about the tribes. Matter of fact, start with verse 1, then jump to 9. I'm going to show you something. This goes back to what we were talking about earlier in terms of prophecy. Go ahead.
It's the book of Genesis, chapter 49, verse 1. And Jacob called unto his sons and said, gather yourself together, that I may tell you that which shall befall you in the last days.
So Jacob is about to die. And so he gathered all his sons together and said, listen, I'm going to tell y'all, I'm going to give y'all a prophecy of what's going to happen to y'all in the last days. Now jump to verse 9.
The book of Genesis, chapter 49, verse 9. Judah is a lion's whelp. From the prey, my son, thou art gone up. He stooped down. He crouched as a lion. And as a old lion, who shall rouse him up?
Who shall rouse them up? Because when you look at, for example, the 1940s and 50s and 60s, you had something called the civil rights movement, where our people were starting to slowly but surely come to a certain level of consciousness, but they were doing it in wickedness. What do I mean by that? They were trying to come together and join their oppressor. So that's why it says, who's going to rouse them up? Who's going to wake up the tribe of Judah, the African American? Who's going to get him angry? Go ahead.
The scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor a lawgiver between his feet.
The scepter is not departing from Judah, because Judah, when you look it up, is the head tribe. That's the same tribe David and Solomon and Jesus Christ come from, whose real name was Yahushua. It's basically, they're the head tribe and everybody looks to them. Everybody looks to them in the world for culture, for how to act, what music to listen to, right? Go ahead.
Until Shiloh come. And unto him shall the gathering of the people be.
Talking about Christ. Go ahead.
Binding his foal unto a vine, and his ass coat.
Hold that. Get Deuteronomy 33.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 33 and verse 7. And this is the blessing of Judah. And he said, hear, Lord, the voice of Judah, and bring him unto his people. Let his hands be sufficient for him, and be thou an help to him from his enemies. And of Levi, he said,
read Judah again.
Verse 7. And this is the blessing of Judah. And he said, hear, Lord, the voice of Judah, and bring him unto his people. Let his hands be sufficient.
What's your question? What's the question on the floor right now?
It's him, not me.
Oh, he asked the question about how do you know who the tribe of Judah is? Okay, I got you. Go ahead, read it. From the top.
Okay, this is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 33 and verse 7. And this is the blessing of Judah. And he said, hear, Lord, the voice of Judah, and bring him unto his people. Let his...
33, you already read 49? No, we haven't. Go to 49 first. Let's go to Genesis 49. This is how we identify who the tribes are and where they are. There's two main chapters, Genesis 49 and Deuteronomy 33. There's other stuff elsewhere, but those are the main things, right? So let's go.
This is the book of Genesis.
I'm there.
Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead.
12.
Okay, Genesis 49 and 12.
Read on. Judah, Slack it, wherever you start.
Genesis 49 and 9. Judah is a lion's whelp.
Judah is a what?
Lion's whelp.
Judah is like a young lion. Read on.
It says, from the prey, my son, thou art gone up.
So it say from the prey has Judah gone up. That's describing where Judah is right now. If you remember back, you had movements in the 60s and in the early 70s, right? Black Panthers, and you had a lot of other movements that was like them, that was trying to be revolutionary for the black man. Black man get his rights, right? But it say they have gone up from the prey. They were getting ready to pounce on the prey then, but then they stopped after the 70s. Heroin came, niggas got on heroin. 80s, crack came, niggas got on crack. You see what I'm saying? We ain't been back to that revolutionary, Judah ain't been back to that revolutionary spirit since then, right? Read.
He stooped down. He couched as a lion.
He couched as a lion, read.
As an old
But
lion.
now, Judah is like an old lion. What happens when a lion is old? When a lion is young, he want to hop on a prey. You see what I'm saying? He want to just go out, kill, eat, get blood on his mane. That's what a young lion like to do. But an old lion, he's like your grandpa. He's just trying to chill out. That's what an old lion is. And also, when a lion gets old, he loses teeth. If a lion loses teeth, he can't eat, right? So that's where the African American is now, like an old lion without no teeth, right? Read.
Who shall rouse him up?
But now it say, who shall rouse him up? Somebody got to rouse or raise Judah up. Judah got to get raised up. Read.
The scepter shall not depart from Judah.
But also it said the scepter shall not depart, showing you that Judah is the ruling tribe of this whole nation. That's why they're the first, they're at the top of the chart. This is the rulership. Who sets all the trends for all the rest of these people, right? In Haiti, we rapping about trapping. Where does that come from? That comes from Judah, right? You see what I'm saying? So all of us, all the Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians, we're following the lead of Judah right? We always have. Because the scepter, which that means rulership, shall not depart from Judah. Read.
It says, nor a lawgiver from between his feet until Shiloh comes.
Until who?
Shiloh comes.
Shiloh comes. Shiloh is what you would call another name or an alias or a nickname for Jesus, right? Until Shiloh comes, because he come out of the tribe of Judah. And read.
And unto him shall the gathering of the people be.
And when Christ comes, he's going to gather us all together, right? So that's how we know what Judah is.
Binding his foal unto the vine, and his ass's coat unto the choice vine. He washed his garments in wine.
That's all. That's all y'all. That's all y'all. Okay, now I get you on the bridge. This is the way you understand Judah. Judah is the one who's now like an old lion, but still is like the ruler and still is the standard that all of us follow, right? All the Latin tribes, they got the trap music. Man, what they call that? What the eyes are? The damn Dominican trap they doing down there, man. Dembo, right? Dembo, that's how you say trap in the damn Dominicans, man. I said Dembo, that's how you say trap. They make trap music in Spanish. Trap music in Creole. You see what I'm saying? We call it trap Creole. You see what I'm saying? But just showing you, we all just following whatever Judah's gonna do, we just gonna do it. Judah put on Jordan, I'm gonna put on Jordan. Judah put on the 10th, nigga, I got on the 10th. See what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Deuteronomy 33:7. And this is the blessing of Judah. And he said, hear, Lord, the voice of Judah, and bring unto his people, and bring him unto his people. Let his hands be sufficient for him, and be thou an help to him from his enemies.
That's right, go ahead. And how is the Lord going to help Judah from his enemies in this time? When the Lord sent his son to come and defend and fight for him, and the angels to fight for Judah, right? So these are some of the key ways we're going to You have a question? Well, he only asked about Judah, right? So that's true. So this is why y'all from the tribe. Give me, John, you ain't got no more questions?
Yeah, I do actually. I want to know the correlation between the Canaanites and the Egyptians. Is there something there?
I mean, they're both Hamites, but there's not really enough. One come from Israel, one come from Canaan. So they're not, outside of being both Hamites, they're not related outside of that. They had problems.
But I was saying that based on okay, then where does, you know, if you go from the Canaanites from the garden, way back when, and then you get to Egypt and Egypt, there's just no kind of correlation here.
Nah, they're separate.
They both seem equally as evil.
They both very. You said what, brother? No, we're not Nuwapi. Okay. No, we're Hebrew Israelites. You are too, brother. But Canaanites, see what happened with the Philistines. You know about the Philistines, right? The Philistines are Egyptians that went into Canaan and conquested and annexed a portion of Canaan. So they was always, the Egyptians and the Canaanites was always people.
So did they kind of take on, the Egyptians kind of take on the Canaanites kind of philosophies?
Now they had
their
their
own.
on the world. They had their own. Some was similar, but the Canaanite philosophy is really worse than the Egyptian philosophy.
Really?
It's really worse. Because the Canaanites believe in child sacrifice, cannibalism. They the inventors of the strip club and the whorehouse. That all come from the Canaanites. You see what I'm saying? So Molech and all that. That's where all that come from. So really the Canaanites is really, you could say, got the worst philosophy. You see what I'm saying? Go ahead, read it.
And that's why this is Zechariah 14:21.
Yeah.
Yea, every part in Jerusalem and in Judah shall be holiness
That's right.
unto the Lord of hosts.
So right, read it.
It says, and all they that sacrifice shall come and take of them, and seed therein. And in that day there shall be no more the Canaanites
They say there shall be no more the Canaanite
in the house of the Lord of hosts.
Now this is after the house of the Lord. Go ahead. Go ahead, Keith.
Are we living in the New Testament? I mean, the Old Testament or the New Testament?
We live in the Old Testament.
Okay. The one what Jesus Christ. Y'all believe in Jesus Christ? Of course. Exactly. So once that happened, the Old Testament, the ways of the, you know what I'm saying, the 14, you know what I'm saying, commandments and stuff like that. That's what Jesus did. He really died for all our sins. So all that stuff really went the wayside when he was born for real. So, I mean,
Well, let's see what Jesus Christ said.
Matthew 5:18. For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass.
So wait a minute. So heaven and earth pass, right? Have heaven and earth passed?
I mean, we're living on heaven on earth, so I mean, tell me.
So no, it hasn't passed, right? Read.
So heaven and earth pass, one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law.
Christ said until that happened, not one jot or tittle, no period, no cross the I or dot the T, as they say, shall pass from the law until that happens. That's when things will pass from the law. That ain't happening yet. Keep going.
Till all be fulfilled.
All. You see what I'm saying? So we is still under the old covenant, right? Just like the old covenant, there was a sacrifice made for the old covenant, but the Israelites didn't enter into the old covenant until 430 years after that sacrifice. In the same way, Christ
was
was
the Lamb of God, though.
Of course.
So when they used to sacrifice the animals,
Yeah.
Jesus was that sacrificial lamb.
Of course.
So everything in the Old Testament kind of died. It really didn't, but it kind of died because he was that savior.
You gotta explain that though. Why did he say we still gotta keep the law? Why he said that? We gotta see, because we gotta deal with his word. He's the man, right? So we gotta deal with what he says. He said we gotta keep law. Keep going with that, matter of fact.
Whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments,
If you break the least of them commandments, read.
and shall teach men so,
And then teach people, not only you breaking them, but you teaching people it's okay to break them, read.
he shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven.
You're gonna be the least, right? Read.
But whosoever shall do and teach them, the same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven.
That same shall be called great in the kingdom. You see what I'm saying? So that's what he said out of his mouth. If you want to be great, you got to keep them laws in the Old Testament. Now I want to be great. So we supposed to keep them laws, right? Because matter of fact, give me Matthew 4. You know what I need, 4 and 4.
Matthew 4:4. But he answered and said,
This is Christ speaking to Satan, right? What did he say? Read.
it is written, man shall not live by bread alone,
Man shall not live by bread alone, but by what?
but by every word,
No, just the New Testament.
but by every word
Every word, read.
that proceedeth out of the mouth of
We
God.
gotta live by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of God. That's what he said. So the law proceeded out of the mouth of God. So we gotta keep the law. You see what I'm saying? That's clear. That's clear.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's all not supposed to stay with it.
Of course.
Someone
Christ is the sacrifice,
Yeah,
yes.
the sacrifice of man. So I mean, as far as y'all coming from the followers, so far it's like, oh.
Well, I'm a follower of Christ, and Christ is adherent of the law. But give me you know what I need? 3. Okay, go ahead.
Romans 3:25. Whom God has set forth to be a propitiation.
No, that's not what I want. That's not what I want. No. Give me 3:31. 3:31.
Oh, who made
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Romans 3:31.
Read on.
Do we then make void the law through faith?
Yeah, do we then make void the law through faith? Do we say we don't have to keep the law because we haven't faith? Read.
God forbid.
God forbid that. Read.
Yea, we establish the
We're
law.
supposed to still be establishing the law. So we under faith and we under grace, but we still establish the law. That's still something we have to keep. Give me that.
Right.
We are found sinful.
And what's faith?
Faith. Hope for in the things not seen before. Yeah. So, but as long as we have to have that faith, but we also have to work. This faith without work is dead. Without the work, even if that.
Galatians 2:17. But if while we seek to be justified by Christ,
If we seeking to be justified through the sacrifice of Christ,
we ourselves also are found sinners.
but we found that we still breaking the laws while we saying we justified by Christ. Read.
Is therefore Christ the minister of sin?
You're saying that now Christ is the minister of sin.
Hold on, what verse you
Galatians 2 and what? 17. Galatians 2 and 17. Right? Great verse. So we know we justified through Christ, but we still got to, because he didn't come just to die for it just so we can keep being wicked. He came to give us another opportunity. You know what I'm saying? So that's basically what we're teaching. That we gotta have faith, we gotta believe in him, and then we gotta do that righteousness. You know what I'm saying? Now, those things that we couldn't do in the past, we now can do through one way, right?
Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ. Strengthen me.
And we're able to be righteous. You see what I'm saying? Because we have that, we truly have faith in him. Before we struggled. Now having faith in him.
That's one of them class A verses. You know what I'm saying?
Please say, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, let's go to Colossians.
Colossians what?
My people who are called by my name, come with such a credit. And y'all hear that land, no matter what you might be doing, like, no matter how your life might be at this point, just humble yourself and pray. God still hears no matter what type of life it is. And that's what's really crazy about that scripture. Like, you still be living your own little world, like, not following, you know what I'm saying, my lifestyle, but you just getting in your mind, I'm trying to get saved, bro. Real good.
But that goes back to First King. That goes back to Solomon. See, when he's quoting and when he's getting that concept coming from Solomon, right? But the problem is, it's not dealing with individuals, it's dealing with a collective. Because everything is not on an individual basis, for real. We all essentially got punished together, so we all gonna have to get right together. It's just like sometimes your parents, one kid do something bad and cut up, everybody getting their ass whooped and everybody getting on punishment, right? Even though it was just a little brother, right? Now it's like, nah, but y'all all got to get right together. You see what I'm saying? So that's what it's like. So give me that in First Kings 8:44 first. So you were the concept come from.
First Kings 8:40. Yet if they shall be.
There you go.
Yet if they shall bethink themselves in the land whither they were carried captives, and repent and make supplication unto thee, in the land of them that carried them captives, saying, we have sinned and have done perversely. We have committed wickedness.
So you got to confess that. Lord, we've done evil, right? You're praying to him, but you're not just praying to him like, yeah, just do it. You're praying saying, listen, I know I've done wickedness. I've done evil. Read.
And so return unto thee with all their heart.
That's right. And then you got to return to him. So you acknowledging you're not living right, but you praying. And with the intentions of that prayer, you going to strive forward and live right. Not, I'm going to keep being wrong. You see what I'm saying? Keep going.
It says, and so return unto thee with all their heart and with all their soul in the land of their enemies, which led them away captive, and pray unto thee toward their lands, which thou gavest unto their fathers, the city which thou hast chosen, and the house which I have built for thy name. Then hear thou their prayer and their supplication in heaven.
Exactly. That's when the prayer will be heard, right? Give me Acts 3:19.
I love it. Hey, look, I got to get the
What's your name, King? Reggie, okay, good to meet you. Brothers is out here. We out here. Definitely, brother. Go ahead, give me Acts 3:19 real quick.
Acts chapter 3, verse 19. Repent ye therefore and be converted.
That's what time it is. It says the repentance was key there, right? But repent and be converted. Read.
That your sins may be blotted out.
Because that's what's going to get our sins blotted out. That's who Yahweh is going to cover on that first go around. It's those who repent and are converted, because that's what it takes to get your sins blotted out. Psalm 19:7. I'll be right back with you, brother.
Psalm chapter 19, verse 7.
Read.
It says, the law of Yahweh is perfect, converting the soul.
That's how you convert, by coming back to the law. That's how you repent and be converted. I'm sinning, I'm breaking the law. Now I'm going to stop breaking the law, right? Go ahead.
The testimony of the Lord is sure, making wise the simple.
Boom, right? Well, yeah, okay, so Egyptians and the Canaanites, right? Boom, so yeah, they was always beefing with each other. But a lot of it go back to where all the satanic doctrine come from after the flood is Babylon, right? But see, Canaan like one up Babylon, right? So Egypt is like similar to it, but Canaan really one up.
It seemed like that Egypt stuff is stuff that's out here trying to put that stuff out here more than anything. It seemed like it.
Yeah, in a way, but in truth, what you get in the Christian church is Canaanite. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
See, so overtly, it seemed like Egypt because you got these Egypt niggas coming with all these various doctrines, but a lot of what's in that church is Canaanite ideology. Because the whole thing, Caesar Borgia is the new Baal. Just the white version of Baal. You see what I'm saying? Where does that come from? Canaan. when does every Negro go to church? On Easter. Where that come from Canaan. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of that is really rooted in Canaanite belief. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Just going back to the first point about the Canaanites being worse than the Egyptians. This is
going in there.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 12. I'm going to start at verse 11. I'm going to just get to the point. It's talking about the Canaanites. It says, for it was a cursed seed from the beginning.
From the beginning. Yeah. That's how you know. Right? Go ahead.
Neither didst thou, for fear of any man, give them pardon for those things wherein they sinned.
Now it's a cursed seed, and they have no pardon. That's why I say when all the pots are sanctified in Jerusalem, we ain't gonna find them. Another nation might come up. We have them in captivity. Offer this to your God. Canaanites now, y'all ain't even entering into Jerusalem. You see what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm gonna just go back to that. I'm gonna start verse 20 though. Zechariah 14 and 20. And that day shall there be upon the bells of the horses holiness unto the Lord. And the pots in the Lord's house shall be like the bowls before the altar. Yea, every pot in Jerusalem and in Judah shall be holiness unto the Lord of hosts. And all they that sacrifice shall come and take of them, and seed therein. And in that day there shall be no more the Canaanite in the house of the Lord of hosts.
So they won't be able to. That's not. So they won't be able just to come to.
Yeah, at all. They're not even coming. Like when we make all the nations worship the Most High, they're not coming. That goes all the way back. Remember, it say they're gonna eat the ducks.
Right. Is that the same? Is that what it means when they say that the cats are outer darkness? Is that what that means?
I think you asked us that. You asked me that before.
No.
Somebody asked me about outer darkness at CNN.
If I did, I don't remember.
In a way, because the dust out of darkness is there's that correlation. You see what I'm saying? Basically, they just they in confusion. They're not gonna have this information.
So they just gonna be.
They're just gonna be out. They're gonna be out to fend for their damn self. You see what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Genesis 3 and 14.
The Sahara Desert somewhere. Read.
And the Lord God said unto the serpent, because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all cattle, and above every beast of the field. Upon thy belly shalt thou go, and dust shalt thou eat all the days of thy life.
That's right. You're gonna be on the ground eating that dust.
Shalom, what's going on? It's your brother, Chief Priest Alazar Lawyer, aka the Guerrilla Hebrew, and I'm just letting y'all know I just dropped my official clothing line, Urban Guerrilla. Go to urbangorilla.com right now to check us out, man, and pick something up. There's urbngrla.com. We got all kind of items for men, women, children, even infants, as well as fragrance oil, smell goods. You can also check out Hebrew Israelite Clothing Co., another Sicarii business, on Instagram and Facebook. And as always, you can hit up deaconsicarii.com to get your plug on the scarves, the music, and the children's Bibles. Thanks for your time. All praise to the Most High. Kwam Yasharallah. Shalom.